And what's good, y'all? It's your boy Roy. We back. Another day, another blessing. So today, y'all, as you can see from the title of today's video, we're gonna be replacing the fuel pressure regulator, which is actually right here. Just came in today. Pretty much because I've been having a pretty bad fuel leak. Here is everything inside. Got the fuel pressure regulator kit. Comes with everything, all the hoses that you need. Obviously the fuel pressure regulator itself. They also supply you with the 2 gaskets for the fuel tank, which is also what I bought a couple days ago. Got shipped in a little earlier, so I have these. Also bought an extra fuel tank lock ring just in case I end up crashing out, you know, breaking out on accident or on purpose. You never know. So first things first, you're gonna need to get both of the back seats off because you're actually gonna have to access the low pressure fuel pump as well, which is on the passenger side, regulator on the driver's side. So just go ahead and remove both of these seats. Seats are now out. Absolutely a mess under there. But regardless, y'all, once the seats are out, you're just gonna go ahead and pull these up. Not held in by anything. You can just go ahead and lean it off to the side. But already right there. Same with the other side. Right there as well. We're gonna start on the passenger side. The side with the low pressure fuel pump. Literally just going to be 4 bolts, and it's going to be a 10 mil. So just go ahead and get those removed. This will pop right open. Once the 4 10 mil bolts are off to the side, now this can move freely and pop off like so. Don't be afraid, y'all. So what you're going to need to do next is disconnect the power supply, which is going to be the left and the right cable. So just go ahead and disconnect those to cut the power supply to the fuel pump, and then we're going to crank the car so we can pretty much let it bog out and release the pressure from the entire fuel pressure system. Power supply is disconnected from the fuel pump, so just go ahead, hop in the driver's seat. But make sure the power supply is disconnected, both of those on each side. Go ahead and start it up. And it should die out. There we go. Finally died, so just go ahead, cut it, take out the key, you're good to go. Once the power supply is disconnected and you crank the car to release the fuel pressure, now you can take off these 2 hoses right here. Once the other 2 lines are removed, the top and bottom, you can just place them off to the side, and then you'll be able to remove the fuel ring. There is a specific tool for it, but honestly, I'm just going to use a flathead, hit the hammer on the end of it and get that off. I wouldn't recommend it, but that's how we're going to do it today. Once that's off, we can move over to the driver's side. Go ahead and pull this back, get these 410s off. Once the 410s are off, you can go ahead and lift this up. It'll move freely just like the other side. And then we're going to go ahead and disconnect the power supply right here, as well as the other line. So now that the 2 lines are off, the fuel line as well as the power supply, we can get the lock ring off of this one. So as you can see, lots of leakage going on this side as far as the fuel pressure regulator. And I'll try to clip in a video, if not a pic, somewhere in one of the corners, y'all. There's actually a little leak right here that I found when I opened this up. There's a little tiny hairline crack right about somewhere right there, y'all. And that's pretty much the culprit of everything. So like I said, let's go ahead and get this lock ring off. So now we can swap back over to the side with the fuel pump. Lift this thing up. Fuel pump is pulled out. I have a bucketless low pressure fuel pump, so it came out honestly pretty easier than usual. If you have a bucketed fuel pump, the whole thing will come out as well, but it'll just take a little bit more wiggling out. You don't have to remove these little connections right here because they're actually a part of the assembly. So as you see, this line right here with the green connector, this little tab, I actually tied some string to it and stretched it out to give me a pretty reasonable and generous amount of string. Pretty much I tied it to that line essentially to make it a bit easier to route the lines when we put the new fuel pressure regulator in. And I got that trick from this guy right here, I was watching this video to try to make it a bit easier for me and whoever else is watching this video. Shout out to F80CJ, the guy that I got this trick from. I'll let him kind of explain in this video.
All right, now that I have all 3 lines removed from the fuel pump, I took the string and tied it to the one that had the connector on there. That way, when we lift out the regulator, it'll pull the string through. So when I go to put the new regulator in, I'll just pull the string directly back through. That way the lines aren't getting caught up in the center there, and I can pull them straight back to where I need them.
Also, that's where I got that trick from. I use this line that I use is actually a lot thinner than the one that he used. So just to be safe, I triple knotted it, but I didn't knot it too tight. Just a decent amount, y'all. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that it doesn't come undone when I pull it out with the regulator. Well, now that everything's out, the next thing we can do after tying that line is everything's already disconnected from earlier in the video. Now we can actually remove the entire fuel pressure regulator itself. Just to give you a better idea, now that I'm pulling out the hoses, boom, as you can see, the line followed all the way out from that side. Now, with the old hose that we hooked up to, we can just untie this line, tie it onto the same exact hose right here with the green tab like I mentioned, drop in the regulator, and then we're just gonna pull that green line on the other side to pretty much feed the lines through and make it so much easier. Fuel pressure regulator is in. Over here, the string helped a lot. There's the hose right there. So once we do that, we can put these on. Obviously you're gonna want to put some new tank seals. They recommend it every time opening these. So literally just right there, pop that off, put on the new one on this side as well. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Connect the 2 hoses, the 2 lines, the power supply and the fuel line back up to the regulator. Just leave the cap off for now, even though it's connected right there, just to make sure we can start up and check for any leaks. Other side, drop in the fuel pump and connect everything back up the way it was. Just like I said on the other side, leave this cap off for now so we can do a startup and check for any leaks. Taking it out is a lot harder and more time consuming than putting everything back in. Now that everything's connected, y'all, we can go ahead and give it a first start and cross our fingers that there isn't any leaks. I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form. So if I can get this done in an hour and a half, y'all can probably get it done quicker than me. Everything is good. Put back on, working perfectly fine. It does help if you have the MHD OBD dongle, the little connector, hook up to your car, get it all started up and check for any codes. But after that, just plug everything back in, put the seats back on if you want to. But everything is working perfectly fine, y'all. Before, the leak was literally so bad. If you get down on the driver's side, you can literally see it leaking down before, and it'll literally make a whole puddle, y'all, like actually really quick. So that isn't happening anymore, thankfully, y'all. A lot better now. This will be the end of today's video. As always, I hope you'll have a blessed day. It's your boy Ray, and I'm out.